My favorite Google tool is Google Docs because I think it is so easy to use and so convenient and a great way to be able to share information over technology.
My favorite Google tool was Google Draw because it was really awesome to collaborate with groups and share our ideas.
My favorite Google tool is Google Sheets because as a future math teacher, I feel like it would help my students be able to create tables really easily.
My favorite Google tool is Google Sites because students are able to put together all the work that they've done into one portfolio and show their achievements.
My favorite module was Module 1 because we talked about all the different types of Google tools, and I think they are just so useful and a great thing for everyone to know how to use.
My favorite module was Module 2 because we got to learn all the cool Microsoft tools and we got to make a Jeopardy board on PowerPoint, which was really fun.
My favorite module was Module 1, where we learned about Google Tools. I feel like it was really helpful because I was able to introduce them to my other classes in college.
My favorite module was Module 2 because we got to learn in a different perspective by doing most of the work online.
I will definitely use Google Tools in my classroom, and specifically, I could see myself using Blogger a lot in the classroom.
In my future classroom, I'll probably use Smartboard because it's an awesome teaching tool and it's really good for the students to be interactive.
One of the things I would use in my future classroom was Google Cardboard. I figured I could show students different monuments and have them represent the different shapes we were learning about in geometry.
In my future classroom, I'll incorporate meditation in between class lessons, so the transition from one class to the next won't be as stressful.
I personally liked doing the future thinking projects because it incorporated different aspects of life into technology and how we use it in the classroom.
One thing the Future Thinking Project taught me was about the education gap between so many countries. I knew there was a gap, but I never really realized how big it was until we started doing research.
When doing the Future Thinking project about expanding technology into the schools, I didn't realize how much technology would affect the community of the school.
In the Future Thinking project, it made me realize how important it is for teachers to teach sustainability to their students.
I thought that the soft chalk activity was very difficult. It ended up being an extra credit assignment this semester, but I could not figure it out on my own and I thought it was very confusing.
The activity that I found most difficult was probably the podcast because I had never previously worked with Audacity, so it was kind of hard to learn at first.
The activity I found most difficult was Audacity. I've never worked with it before, and cutting and pasting the different sound clips was really difficult.
The tutorial that I found most difficult was Audacity, but then I later realized that it wasn't as difficult as I thought, and that it was actually easy.
The most difficult activity for me was the gradebook that we made in Microsoft Excel because of the many steps we had to follow.
I had no idea about the glass touchscreen interactive technological walls that are put up in rooms for students and teachers to use.
One thing that I didn't know much about were the MOOCs, which were the massive online learning courses. I actually had no idea they existed until this class.
One topic I didn't know a lot about were the ISTE standards. I didn't know teachers, administrators, and students had specific standards they had to reach involving technology.
One thing I didn't know about was the assistive technology that allowed people to transport the drones that people use for assistive technology in order to live their lives.
Before this class, I had no idea about Google Cardboard and how it can be incorporated into classrooms.
Personally, I like doing group work because it gets some new, fresh ideas in the mix, and you're able to bounce ideas off one another to come up with really good ideas.
I personally really like working with others. I think it's a good way to get to know your other classmates, and I think it's awesome to be able to collaborate ideas back and forth.
I like working in groups and doing collaborative work because I feel you can bounce ideas off of each other and come up with really good topics.
I like collaboration because it allows me to communicate with my partners and develop stronger relationships for future interactions.
Working with others in the classroom not only brought in new ideals, but it also made the class feel like a team effort.
What I'm taking out of this class is now that I have a greater knowledge of all the different technologies and how important it is to keep up with changing technology in the classroom.
Before this class, I didn't know much about all the different Google tools, so I'll probably be using those a lot more in other classes because they're actually really, really helpful.
I'm going to take a lot out of this class, specifically all the different tools we can use with technology that are free and are really helpful towards my future students.
Future Thinking Optional program is that it is very healthy. I think that it is good for students to help develop their communication skills and understandings.
From this class, I am taking out how technology can be used to fit all the needs of students in a class.